Hello everyone, my name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well and having an excellent day. Today we are here to talk about all the books I want to read in the month of June. Now this month's TBR will be a little bit different. We are not going to be using our regular TBR jar, but we are going to use another TBR jar. So you probably could tell by the title of this video, but June is whateverthon month. Whateverthon is a month-long readathon hosted by Maddie from Book Browsing's blog and a bunch of other co-hosts who are helping along this readathon. This readathon spans the month. It has a bunch of bingo boards with prompts of things to read that will earn you points. There are various amounts of other ways to earn points as well. For example, reading books that are featuring the LGBTQ community in some shape or form, because June is also Pride Month, and last time I did not really successfully take part in this readathon, but I'm very motivated to do so because my reading has been terrible this year and I kind of want to get back into it in the latter half of 2022. So I will leave all the information regarding this readathon in the description, as well as Maddie's announcement video and channel, because she is amazing. It's a lot of hard work to create such a big readathon, but I'm not even going to really try to explain all the rules. But without further ado, let's hop on into the actual TBR part of this video. So first things first, I will be taking part in this readathon, and I have kind of pled my allegiance to the Beach Readers team. Each team gets the bingo board with all the prompts that everybody else gets, but each team has 5 prompts that are specific to them, and that's kind of the way I decided to go and pick my team, with the prompts that spoke to me most, because they are all creators I absolutely adore, so it wasn't easy to pick a team. So that's the way I went with it, and I feel like Beach Readers definitely defines my reading style. I am a contemporary beach reader through and through, so that's the team I decided to go with. So I have printed out my team's bingo board for the month. I have also looked at all the prompts and decided to organize myself and give myself a bunch of ideas for each of the prompts with books that I have on my bookshelf that could work. Now, I don't think I will be fulfilling all of these prompts, so the way we're going to go about it today is that I will be picking books for the 5 specific prompts that my team have. Now, just so it's not super complicated, I will just list them out right now. My team's specific prompts are to read a dark romance, a summer thriller, a political fantasy, an indie self-published book, and a book with water on the cover. Now, other of the prompts are things that you can do without choosing a book. For example, joining the 48-hour readathon that would be happening this month, or join some sprints, or have a cozy reading time. So none of them are reading prompts, but still, your girl is not gonna read freaking 25-30 books this month. It's not me. So what I decided to do for the rest is that I printed out another bingo board and I cut off all the prompts that I can fulfill, and we're going to pick 5 or 6 of them, and then I'm going to choose some books to read. If I have extra time this month, we can go back and pick some more. So am I going to fulfill an actual bingo? Who knows? Maybe I'll get a few prompts that would work for a bingo and fulfill the rest of them as the month goes along. But it's just to read books that fit in some of the prompts, and I also wanted to bring back the TBR jar in some way this month. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to actually start with the TBR jar, and then we can go into the specific prompts for my team. So let's just hop on in. This is stressful. We'll go with this one. So the prompt, we're starting off with an easy one, which is favorite genre, which for me will definitely be adult romance. So that's a very broad prompt. It's not going to help me dwindle down my options, but let me figure it out and I'll come back to you guys. So I kind of cross-referenced my list here, as well as taking into considerations the pre-orders that are coming out at the end of May, beginning of June, and I decided that for this prompt I'm going to go with Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. Now this is an indie book that comes out June 21st, I believe, so I will be reading this in the later part of the month, but it is one that sounds phenomenal. I don't specifically remember the synopsis right now, but I think it has to do with like someone who's either like social media famous or something like that. There's a house on the cover. It's going to be a romance. I've read some of Lucy Score's books before and I've really enjoyed them, and this is one I've been anticipating for a while because I definitely think I'm going to enjoy this one more than all the other books I've read by her, which is a good sign. They are usually pretty chunky novels as well, so I will need to make sure I leave myself some time, but we're going to go with that one for my favorite genre, which it's a good place to start. Number 2 is 2021 release. Okay, another very fun one. Okay guys, I figured it out. For 2021 release, we are going to go with Love Off Limits by Jenny Proctor. This is a book I actually recently got, but it was published in 2021. I checked, and this I got because it reminded me of Bet the Farm by Stacey Hart. This I don't know if this is dual perspective. Tell me it is. It is. So this follows Olivia and Tyler, and essentially Olivia and Tyler meet at this wedding. They have very like instant chemistry. However, Olivia doesn't think it's a good idea to engage in any kind of relationship because she's trying to earn her parents' trust in order for her to be like given the okay to run the family farm. And obviously she thinks that like dating is probably not a good thing to do at this time because she needs to focus on proving herself. However, I believe that Olivia and Tyler kiss, they go their separate ways, and she's like, fine, crisis averted, I can focus on the farm again. However, Tyler ends up going to Olivia's farm and asking for a job, and because she can't resist his good looks, she gives him a job, and then it's like her obviously starting to have feelings for him, but also trying to prioritize the farm, and the kind of idea that if you push something in a specific direction for so long, like if you say no all the time, then that person might just move on or not want to be with you when you realize that you've made a mistake. I think that's kind of like where the book is going to go, and I'm very excited for this one. So on the TBR it goes. Now let's pick the third book in here. We'll go with this prompt. And this prompt is on a previous TBR, which pretty much any book could fit that at this point because I'm a terrible reader. This book is probably a running joke by this point because I still haven't read it, and that is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This I got literally when it came out in early 2021, and then it like exploded on TikTok months later, and then I was scared of the hype, so I never picked it up. But then I've been seeing my friends give it terrible reviews, so who knows actually if I'm going to enjoy this or not. But this follows Catalina and Aaron Blackford. Everybody loves Aaron Blackford, and it's like a fake dating wedding in Spain kind of romance book, and you know, I've been really excited for this one. But again, all these mixed reviews and the super big hype, and then everybody being like, yeah, this book is actually trash, makes me question whether or not I'm going to like this, and I think I'm going to be very sad if I don't, because I love Elena, I love her Instagram, I've been following her for years, and the story just sounded right up my alley, and we do love a good book boyfriend here. But on the TBR, it goes. So we'll do 2 more. We'll pick this one, which is Counting You, a series, which again, lots of options here. Let me reference my little piece of paper. This had to be done. I need to read this book. We are going to read Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. Carrie Maniscalco is my favorite author of all times. This is the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked. I will not be reading this edition because it's too pretty. I will be reading my standard edition. But yes, Kingdom of the Wicked is a young adult fantasy that turns into new adult in this book. And it follows Amelia? Why am I blanking on her name? Yes, Amelia and her twin sister. At the beginning of the first book, her twin sister gets murdered. Amelia and her sister were witches, and so Amelia is wondering what happened to her sister, and she kind of goes on a revenge quest that mixes her up with the 7 princes of hell. One of them being mainly featured, who is Wrath. I think they're going to have a romantic relationship. That's kind of what was hinted at the first book, and they are trying to like avenge Amelia's sister and find out who killed her, because like they need, you know, to figure it out, and the story kind of unravels from there. I just love Carrie Maniscalco. I probably had a terrible synopsis for you guys, but I promise it will make more sense in my weekly reading vlogs. But yes, I am reading that in anticipation for the 3rd and I think final book in this series. Is it the final book? I think so. Which is Kingdom of the Feared. And a last one for this section of the TBR, we'll go with this one, which is, drumroll, oh god, a different format, and I know exactly what I'm picking for that. I'm going to go with Stuck With You by Ali Hazelwood, which is a short novella that will be coming out in the beginning of June. I read Under One Roof, which I adored, and so this is like the second in that little series of novellas. They are technically out on audio, but I rather read them on my Kindle, so it counts as a different format than a usual book I would read. So that's a pretty good solid start to this TBR. Now, let's talk the actual prompts. See, I have this organized. Let's talk actual prompts for what I'm going to read for the prompts specific to my team. Okay, so as I mentioned, one of the first prompts in my team is to read a dark romance. I don't read super dark romances. I read like mafia romances once in a while. I am more of a contemporary romance reader. However, I chose a book. I don't know exactly how dark it is, but to me, it feels dark enough. And that is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. Because, like, I think this is kind of a dark romance, because I think our main, like, this is dual perspective, I believe? Yes. So we follow Crew and Ren, and essentially Crew becomes obsessed with Ren after hating her and not understanding why everybody is absolutely obsessed with her, and so it kind of starts as enemies and then it turns into kind of love and obsession, and that to me sounds kind of dark because that's not a healthy relationship. I think you should not be obsessed with your partner. That's just kind of weird. And I like skim through this, like the first few pages, and it to me it sounds dark, so we're gonna make it work. And that's kind of like all I know about this book. Like, it's forced proximity, enemies to lovers, obsessed male alpha hero. I think this is new adult. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to love this one, but I saw it so many times on TikTok, the hype got to me. So we're putting that with the rest of the books. And then for a summer thriller, I actually have 2 options of books I would like to get to. The first one is also releasing in the month of June, I think like June 6th, and it is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. You cannot have a thriller, like a more summer mystery thriller, in my opinion. It's essentially between like a elementary school teacher and a bounty hunter, because our main female protagonist goes to like this cottage Airbnb kind of thing with her brother for the summertime, and she walks in there and there's a dead body, and so the bounty hunter kind of comes into play, and our main female character is like, I can help you, I've like listened to so many like true crime episodes and like I can be of help, and the bounty hunter is like, nah, and I guess they end up working together, and the more they spend time together, the more he like gets feelings for her. It sounds amazing, the cover's beautiful, and I think it definitely fits the air of summer because summer vacation, it just works. But another book I would like to get to this month is The Maid by Nina Peruse. I recently got this. This is in my Waterstones haul. If you have not seen it yet, I think it should be up before this video. And this is a book that a lot of people have read, and it follows a maid in this like hotel, I guess, and she's used to being invisible. I think some people say it's like not on page, but she kind of has like autism or is on the spectrum or something of the sorts, and our main character, finds a man dead in his bed while she's doing room cleaning, and I think everybody suspects that she did it, and she has to go out of her way and prove that she is innocent and did not kill this man. And I don't know if it's specifically summery, but I think that it's the kind of thriller I would read in the summertime, and that is enough for me to fulfill this prompt. And yeah, I just love the tone of this book. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I've seen great reviews for it, so I was excited to add it onto the TBR. Now, for political fantasy, I'm not a big political fantasy reader, but I'm going to add on Malazan, Gardens of the Moon, or the second book, depending on where I am in this journey. Will I actually finish the second book next month? Absolutely not. These books are ridiculously long, but they are definitely political fantasies. It's all about war and wanting to gain more land, and there's like gods and so many other things within this book series. This is just the first book, and it's taking me a while, but I'm really enjoying it. I did not think I would enjoy this, but yes, this is going to go on the TBR. Hopefully we will have finished this book at least early on in June. I wanted to finish it in May, but I've been sick, so I don't know, guys. We also have indie / self-published. I don't know what I'm going to put for this prompt yet because I own so many of them. I want to read so many of them, and depending what happens in the month of June, I kind of want to leave that spot open because I just recently found out that one of my favorite books of 2021 actually was the start of a series, and so there's a bunch of companion novels, so that's probably what I'm going to use for this prompt. I just don't know where I'm going to be in that series once June comes around, so I'm leaving that spot open, but I think I know what's going to fulfill it, but I don't want to like set it in stone and have to read that book. So the last prompt for my team is to read a book with water on it, and I decided that we were going to go with a middle grade for this one, so I decided to choose The Thief Who Sang Storms by Sophie Anderson. This, again, is one I'm very excited for. It has to do with the island of Morivia, and it's shaped like a broken heart. The humans live on one side and the bird people live on the other, but it wasn't always this way. I think we follow a main character who can sing magic, but magic is forbidden, and she's going to try to unite like the human and the bird people once more. That's what I'm getting from it. I think there might be like animal companions in there, and I just love Sophie Anderson's writing. She has phenomenal like storytelling abilities, and she makes you love characters, and it's just always a fun time reading her books, and this clearly has lots of water, and I think water will be a theme in this book, so it fulfills the prompt very well. Now, before we close out this very long video, which I apologize, there are two other books that I really want to get to that are coming out at the end of May that have not fulfilled any of the prompts, but that definitely could fulfill other prompts on the bingo board. One of them is Places We've Never Been by Casey West. If you are new here, I am a Casey West trash. Like, I love all of her books. My favorite book ever, aside from Stalking Jack the Ripper, is Listen to Your Heart by Casey West, and I always want to read her new releases. This one comes out May 31st. I don't remember a lot of the synopsis. I just know one of the main characters has the same name as one of my bookish friends, and I hate it when that happens because, like, yeah, it's hard for me to separate the name and the person, so like I think about that person the entire time I read a book, which I don't want to be doing that, but I'm sure I'm still going to enjoy it. And the other book is a book that's definitely something a little bit different than what I usually read, and it is The Messy Lives of Book People. And this one kind of reminds me of Matt Haig and Frederick Bachman and just so many different authors that are more into like literary fiction and just telling the lives of people and kind of intertwining messages in there, which I really want to read. This one also comes out on May 31st, and I will probably purchase them very soon, so I would like to get to those this month. And another book that is like coming from the UK is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which again kind of makes me think kind of like the speculative fiction, kind of what Matt Haig did with like the Midnight Library and those things, which I absolutely adored. That book reminds me of that, and it should be getting to me in the month of June. If it does, I would ideally like to pick it up in the month of June and read it and enjoy it, hopefully. There are so many other books I also want to get to this month, but I think it's a pretty solid stack, so let me like pick up the stack and show you. This is the stack, and it is absolutely not everything that's on the TBR, which looks a little bit obnoxious when you look at it this way, because like I'm not in a reading mood, but the closer we get to this readathon, the closer I am to like feeling like myself again and wanting to read. So hopefully I get a lot of time to read. Maybe we can go camping one weekend together and I'll read a bunch of books. So subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that, because it's almost camping season, y'all. I'm very excited. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you're participating in the readathon. Which team did you decide to pick? If not, any books that you guys are reading in the month of June. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.